Hi everyone, I'm actually sitting down here, the internet's busiest music nerd, and it's time for a review of the new Little Simz record, Gray Area. This is the latest full-length album from British rapper Little Simz, who was turning heads back in 2015 with her breakthrough album, A Curious Tale of Trials and Persons, featuring the amazing single Dead Body, which is a great intro to Little Simz music if you are unfamiliar with her work. She quickly followed this record up with a more ambitious and instrumentally dense release in 2016, Stillness in Wonderland, a record that was more fully realized than its predecessor but somehow more underwhelming, though I did still appreciate the versatile blend of grime and jazz rap as well as R&B laced throughout this album. So up until this point, I've been more intrigued than blown away when it's come to Little Simz music. But I knew this new album was coming, and I was super impressed by one of the lead singles to this thing, Boss, a funky and spacious but aggressive track with this shrill, ear-shattering screamed chorus, "Stop fucking with my heart!" Bold, bold, bold verses where Simz just sounds nice on the mic. Nice. She just has this incredible attitude and energy and flow, like she's just spent all this time competitively rapping or just like constantly throwing bars in at ciphers, and now she's just like this well-oiled rap machine, dropping tons of clever quotables. Stayed in my own lane, never sidetracked. I self-serve, let me prep it, let me dice that. You little rodents went and fell into my mice trap, and you can send a tiss I'll never write back. I also love the kind of glitchy embellishments throughout this stark and simple beat. There's also this wonderful I am woman, hear me roar kind of ethos to the track. And honestly, it gets to the root of what makes hip-hop what it is. The attitude and delivery, the lyricism, the competitive spirit. So I went into this new album hoping I was going to get more tracks that were equally impressive, bold, that were to the point, and also served as strong proclamations of who Little Simz is as an artist. The opening track on this thing, OFFENCE, is exactly that, with more grimy bass, crispy drums, lots of ambient noise around all of that, and bars tougher than a burnt steak. Jay-Z on a bad day, Shakespeare on my worst days. I said it with my chest, and I don't care who I offend. So many tracks on this thing just feel like the musical equivalent to Little Simz rolling in with a tank and like, this is me, this is what I'm doing, I'm not gonna apologize for it. After a few hard intro tracks, the album does mellow out but does not lose its flavor in the process. The tracks Selfish and Wounds both offer some pretty smooth and sweet guest singers. In fact, there is actually not another featured rapper on this entire album, it's all guest singers. Whether you're talking about Cleo Sol, or contemporary reggae artist Chronix, or Swedish art pop and electropop band Little Dragon, singer-songwriter Michael Kiwanuka actually ends up on the last track here. But to get back to the song Selfish, it is a very groovy and sensual track backed with pianos and strings, and the track is about desire and attraction and wanting someone all to yourself. By comparison, the song Wounds has a similar instrumental backdrop but a much drearier composition, and it's essentially a cautionary track about weighing the benefits of leading a life of crime for the glory of it, idolizing gun-toting rappers, while also getting to the heart of what drives these factors emotionally anyway. The self-hate, the feeling that no one cares, the peer pressure. After this, the quality production and lyrics on this album keep coming. Even though this is not a concept album, there is a very strong instrumental theme to this record. I love how stark, again I'll use the word stark, every beat on this thing is. It's not super dense or lush or layered or anything like that, which is a bit of a trend away from all the trippy trap beats we hear in every corner of hip-hop right now. Rather, Little Simz opts for a handful of key but very bold sounds in each instrumental. And occasionally throughout these tracks you will hear some dramatic strings, some jazzy embellishments that are maybe a little T-Pab inspired, some reverbs or echoes or vocal distortions that feel like they're coming out of the Kanye West catalog. I love the space, the string sections, and the super speedy flows that Simz delivers on the track VENOM. I'm also pretty enamored with the cute and nostalgic 101 FM, where Simz takes a bit of a walk down memory lane over these cute Far East synth melodies, and the references from her past that she picks up are so endearing, whether it's making beats or playing Mortal Kombat or just like rapping on the radio. Simz switches the mood of the album big time on the track Pressure, with these chilly, ghostly group vocals haunting the track's very spacious mix. The sad pianos and organic drums and pulsating chords all make for very nice touches in the instrumental. And lyrically, Simz is referencing a variety of different pressures she feels bombarded by at any given time. The Black experience, a cheating ex, or this pressure to succeed. From pressure, we go to therapy, which does make me kind of think there is an ingenious way that Simz sequenced the songs on this album. And this track is essentially about unwinding, having outlets, having the ability to deal with and wrestle with your emotional demons, and I guess the lack of fulfillment and utility that she gets out of therapy and not feeling like she needs saving. Lyrically, the song Sherbet Sunset also feels like it's continuing a narrative of some sort as this track dives deeply into the failed relationship that Simz bitterly references in a handful of bars prior to this track. So now she's going into the mistreatment, the deception, how emotionally invested she was in this relationship, saying what a waste of chemistry, energy, and empathy. Wonder when you plan to let me know about her pregnancy. You have no integrity, emotion, or respect for me. Clearly wasn't meant to be. This is all temporary. This is the clearest I've seen it. Was bound to end eventually. It still hurts tremendously. Can't bear the intensity. At one point saying in the song that she had this person worked into, or would have this person worked into her Grammy speech. It would be amazing if this album got a Grammy. The closing track, Flowers, is a very soulful send-off to this tight and short but potent album. While it's not the most cutting-edge thing I've ever heard, and I am left wanting a little bit more when it's over, there's not really a single point on this album where Simz falters to any great degree. Little Simz' verses are thoughtful and enjoyable throughout. Her performances are incredible. The instrumentals are well put together and groovy and tasteful. I love that she's able to successfully wear her influences so clearly on her sleeve without necessarily copying them to the point where she loses her own identity. I love the myriad of emotions and feelings and experiences explored throughout this album too. I think the flow is great. I love that it is so consistent. Seriously, this is a really great album. Again, I am left wanting more after listening to this thing. There are definitely some topics on this record I think Simz could have dove a bit more deeply into and maybe got some more profound statements out of. I guess what I'm saying is there's definitely room for ambition to improve the wow factor of what Simz is doing, because if only she could have had the instrumental beauty and the density of Stillness in Wonderland, but come through with a record that is as hard-hitting and as just like fireworks as this. Still though, I think Simz really outdid herself on this album and essentially reset the bar for UK hip-hop in the modern era. I'm feeling a decent 2 strong 9 on this album. Tran. Zishan, have you given this album a listen? Did you love it? Did you hate it? What would you rate it? You're the best. You're the best. What should I review next? Hit the like if you like. Please subscribe and please don't cry. Hit the bell as well. Over here next to my head is another video that you can check out. Hit that up, or the link to subscribe to the channel. Anthony Fantano, Little Simz, great area, forever.